Hey guys, Shadowz here, welcome back to another Gears of War 5 video. Today we are going to be discussing the new gameplay teaser showing a first look at new characters, weapons and game modes in Gears 5. Since E3 2018 when 3 Gears games were announced, including the Gears 5 getting revealed to the world, it has been a long awaited 8 months since that moment and we have seen absolutely nothing, and I mean nothing, not even a word of anything new Gears until right now. Recently, Phil Spencer, head of Xbox, had shared that he was visiting Rod Ferguson and the Coalition team to check in on Gears 5, and the community began to question how it was a shame that we don't get to see anything for ourselves, which to everybody's surprise, actually Phil replied with tweeting out the following: "This is the only one I could sneak while Rod wasn't looking. Gears 5 is looking great." He then also included an official leaked photo captured at the Coalition studio offices looking into a playtest area that, yes, you're right, they are testing and playing Gears 5. Now, while a single photo isn't the craziest thing to get hyped over, this photo alone is more than we've got ever since June 2018, and realistically is showing a teaser of brand new Gears 5 gameplay that, while you may think might not be anything, there is definitely some interesting points to take away from this. Before we jump into and take a look at the very obvious Gears 5 gameplay monitor screens, you can see to the doorway's left that this room is called and nicknamed the Hollow and has some serious security clearance required for entry, which I think is pretty cool. The way that this photo has been taken is of course with lots of consideration and reasoning behind it, because once you do try to zoom in on the gameplay screens, they do get very pixelated but do share enough information for us to discuss it. Firstly, taking a more in-depth look at the Gears 5 gameplay screens, right off the bat it looks like it isn't campaign versus multiplayer, but possibly the next iteration of Horde mode. Both screens are showing gameplay in action as both characters are in cover in, I would assume, the exact same match. What's really interesting is the fact that there are some new icons on the game's HUD, which to me look like cooldown abilities, but more importantly that the player on the left looks to easily be playing as a human COG character, but the player on the right side doesn't look like a human character whatsoever, but more so a new Swarm character. With this not being a versus multiplayer, this could be a very big deal. Focusing on the left screen, it looks like the player is controlling Del Walker, as we did see him in the E3 trailer, rocking his winter-themed armor variant and the beanie-like hat with a retro Lancer equipped. In the background, it looks like the return of the Kestrel DB helicopter mini-boss, as we got to play against them in Gears 4. In the left corner, it looks like the typical Horde mode UI that gives the player some basic information like wave and the current objective. Moving on to the right screen, it's very hard to tell because of the player sitting in a darkened area of the map, but I do think the player is controlling a new Swarm character that has horns similar to like of the Locust Hunter, but again, from the shadows to the pixels, it's very hard to make out the exact details. Looking to the top right corner where the current weapon equipped has always been shown, we can easily see, especially if you've played the previous Gears games, that this is a brand new weapon emblem symbol, looking like maybe being the new weapon we did actually see within gameplay of the E3 trailer, but who knows at this point. Looking just ahead of the player, we can see a familiar level 1, the spiky barrier fortification, which backs up the fact that this is definitely a game mode that isn't campaign or versus multiplayer. Going back to what I said earlier about the cooldown abilities, if you do compare the two player screens together, you can see that each player has a different set of icons showing that each player is using different abilities, with the blank icons representing those that are on a cooldown and the fully whited out icons meaning that they are ready and available to use. Zooming back out from these main two monitor screens, there isn't really any other interesting screens to try and read off. We can see in the far left corner the Gears 5 logo, most likely being the main menu screen, and then to the right of that is an after match report, I would assume, but that isn't really anything special. Overall, based on this photo taken showing the brand new gameplay screens, I do believe that we are 100% guaranteed not looking at a campaign or versus multiplayer, but I don't think we're looking at Horde mode either, but instead a brand new game mode, which to me looks like a possible successor to Judgment's Overrun. Now for me personally, I did feel like Overrun had some sort of potential, but was of course just ruined and tarnished by the Gears Judgment name that it was associated with before it even had a chance to get going. A successor of Overrun in a new Gears game would feel like a freshened up experience. However, being just completely straight up honest with you guys right now, I don't feel like Overrun is the big exciting thing that Gears 5 needs for the game to be a huge success that it needs to be. I really do feel like the Croatian studio can do a lot better than that as developers and create something really special, and I just hope that the gameplay screens that we can look at right now in today's videos are just a pinnacle of something bigger coming. Please make sure to leave me a comment down below telling me what you think. What is your opinion on the Gears 5 gameplay screen shown? Do you agree with my ideas on what we're seeing? Or if not, I would love to know below. So there you have it, guys, my full discussion and speculation on the new Gears 5 gameplay teaser, showing a first look at some new characters, weapons, and game modes in Gears of War 5. Give the video a thumbs up and share if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you aren't already. Thank you for watching, and as always, I shall see you in the next one.